And we are back. Welcome back, everybody. This is the Team Liquid Legacy Star League semifinals. We have just watched Skyline get completely murdered by Michael.
Yeah.
But that's okay because we have one more series.
Yes, we do indeed. And this one's shaping up to be good. This is going to be no less than the mighty Sziky against the magnificent eOnzErG. And it has to be said, coming to this one, eOnzErG is something of an underdog, but I wouldn't say by any means the same kind of underdogginess as we saw in the last game. I know that's not the right way to say it. I just can't get my words straight. I'm too excited.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but it's hard to say though. So in the Michael versus Skyline case, it's like Michael is, you know, super top tier foreigner, really good. Skyline's really good as well, but seems a little bit shaky. So that's, you know, so Michael's a clear favorite. In this case, it's like eOnzErG is one of the top foreigners right now. Like he's won, you know, 2 of the last 5 Defiler tournaments or something and placed highly in all of them.
Yeah.
But Sziky is like, you know, beyond foreigner. He's a guy who is actually just maybe just practices with Koreans on Fish because he's so good he can't actually practice with foreigners anymore. Like he's actually taking games off of pro gamers like Busan. Like that's how good he is.
Yeah. He's ridiculous. I mean, he is actually on another level. I mean, you think Michael's good, but Sziky is just a cut above anyone, it seems, at the moment in the foreign scene. He has been showing signs of weakness so far in this tournament, but word on the street is that his rank on Fish ladder is high. Nonetheless, he's been practicing plenty. So eOnzErG could better bring his very best game because, yeah, Sziky is just a monstrously good player.
Yeah. Oh man, I had a good point. No, I forgot.
Oh.
Anyway, but as you're saying, his ladder rank, I think True Touch just said it got to 1600. Unbelievably good.
What?
Fish rank. Yeah, it's way higher than any foreigner. Just for as a comparison, I think True Touch, who is, you know, another one of the top tier foreigners, only got to 1400. And I think that's generally like the highest level foreigners for the most part get around 1400, and yet Sziky is 1600 max.
Yeah,
it's absolutely ridiculous.
It's absolutely crazy. So yeah, eOnzErG has his work cut out for him. But in this case, I believe.
Well, the first map is going to be Neo Jade once again, although since this is a mirror matchup, it doesn't matter quite as much. Although, you know, depending on the symmetry of the map and the spawn positions, you can occasionally get some wackiness going on.
Yeah, some slight inequalities, but I think this one's pretty level, isn't it? I mean, it's not like statistics are going to tell us anything anyway, so we may as well assume.
Yep. So I think with that. Oh wait, no, let's not go into the game. You know what we should do first? Shout out the sponsors.
Yes, you did.
Razer, Twitch, hey, fantastic. I need to think of like a new routine for sponsor things.
You do?
Just to make it even more exciting, you know? Maybe like, you know, get some trumpets or something.
Oh, I can do your trumpets.
Oh yeah, that's right. Elegant is a musician.
Do you need trumpets? Yeah. I got trumpets. And our sponsors deserve trumpets. I think we need trumpets.
They do. Yes, awesome. Razer is awesome. Twitch TV is awesome. You guys should go buy Razer things, and I guess watch Twitch streams with no
you're doing that already.
Yeah.
And how hard really is it? You know,
it's not hard. Support. And also Team Liquid is awesome. Yeah, well, that's right. Their name is in the title. Team Liquid Legacy Star League. It's pretty cool. Anyway, okay, that's done. Game time.
Let's do it.
Alright, here we are in game number 1. At the top right, as the teal Zerg, we have IFU eOnzErG. At the bottom left, as the purple Zerg, we have SAS Sziky.
Yes, we do, and this is, of course, a Zerg v Zerg. For anyone who doesn't know Zerg v Zerg so far, strap yourselves in because it's probably going to be a pretty rapid affair. I mean, these things usually tend to last no longer than 10 minutes or so, with the game either ending by the Zergling or by the Museless. Occasionally, you can get some craziness with Hive Tech and what have you, and we have actually seen that a couple of times in the tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
We have indeed. I think mostly in the qualifiers, in fact, which is pretty crazy. Actually,
Yeah.
in the tournament itself, we haven't had too many ZVZs given the actual number of Zergs we have. But yeah, as you say, Zerg vs. Zerg tends to be fast and furious. And just like those movies, they are amazing. I don't care what anyone says. I love Fast and Furious movies. Now, some guy at my office at work is like trying to tell me that the movies are bad. Oh man, we had problems.
They're not like great art or anything, but you know they're good films. They're interesting to watch. They're fun. They're entertaining. What more do you want?
My friend even almost bought a car that was like in the first Fast and Furious film.
Really?
Not like actually in the film, but like one of the cars that, you know, the brand of the car. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's totally a reason to buy a car. I would buy a car because it was in Fast and Furious.
But what did he get in the end?
I don't know actually.
Oh.
I don't think he has actually bought one yet. I think something happened or something. Yeah. Anyways.
Just get a Batmobile or something. Go the whole way.
What was that? 12 pool? Probably from eOnzErG.
Yep.
And ooh, what is this? What is this? 12 hack from Sziky, not scared of anything.
Wow.
Sziky doesn't afraid of anything. He simply 12 hatches and wins, regardless of what you do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Sziky showing some nice balls so far early on in this match. Just going to throw down the 12 hatch, not afraid of what eOnzErG is going to be doing. eOnzErG, meanwhile, looks like he's going to go for the speed, so he's going to go for the for a little bit of lane pressure, which could work out quite nice for him. For anyone who thinks this is going to be a build order loss, I think the spawning pool is going to be a little bit too late for that to happen. So these lings will probably be arriving at Sziky's front door just as his first lings are coming out, so they should be even in terms of ling count. However, I would expect the ling speed from eOnzErG to come in significantly earlier than that of Sziky, so that could be a deciding factor, possibly in the early stages of the game.
Yeah, this is generally considered favorable for the 12 hatch when you go for 12 pool.
Yeah.
As you said, there's the slight advantage that if you do go straight for this ling speed, you have speed lings for a small window of time where your opponent doesn't, which just means that Sziky has to be very careful in his positioning here. But, well, I mean, there's a little bit of space here between the ramp and the natural, so, you know, eOnzErG can maybe try and, like, pull the lings away by attacking the hatchery and then try and do a run by or something like that. It can work, but it really just depends on both players' positioning and control. It's very, very precise ZVZ, shall we say. I think that's actually the correct word there in your zoning control and the Mulus and everything, basically, just because of how kind of balanced the matchup is on a razor's edge. Just one slight mistake can cost you. Well, having said that, you know, as you were saying earlier on, Sziky's games in the round of 16 were quite shaky. He played 2 ZVZs, one against South Park and one against Technics. He lost against South Park, and his game against Technics, you know, was really all over the place. Both players really just made such colossal blunders that eventually somehow Sziky stumbled into a win, but it really wasn't particularly good play. And looks like a creep colony built there and canceled just to give him one little extra supply there from eOnzErG. I was wondering why he made a creep there. It was like completely random, but no, he actually just did it for supply.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well, and I was just kind of waiting for the cancel for whatever reason. As you can see, this does work out nicely. Ooh, just managing to block that Zergling right there. This does work out nicely for Sziky because in the end, eOnzErG hasn't been able to make use of those extra early lings. Having said that, that is only so far. He is now going to move out and put some pressure on, being slightly behind in supply, but I guess that's mostly in drones. I'm pretty sure he has the ling advantage in this case, and Sziky might have to actually pull some drones off to defend. It looks like he is doing exactly that. He's going to try and block his lings in a little bit with some drone defense. They're going to pop out some extra Zerglings as well, but eOnzErG might be able to get a positional advantage here, but he needs to not get trapped in there. That's going to be a nice position for Sziky. eOnzErG, this could end really badly for him right here. All those lings just going down so quickly. Sziky taking it by a landslide, managing to grab one drone right there in that engagement, which is kind of not nearly enough to redeem eOnzErG, losing all those lings, getting trapped in a horrible, horrible position, and now he's in serious trouble, especially after the openings. Let's have a look at the supply count, 16 versus 20, and that is quite a big deal in eOnzErG.
It is indeed. Man, I'm not really sure what eOnzErG thought he could accomplish there. I mean, he moved out way too late to really do anything, even against a 12 hatch, as you can see, which is the only time I think that would actually do anything. I think maybe he was hoping that it would end up something like what happened in the game against South Park, where South Park tried it and actually was able to bust Sziky's natural. But I think in that case, it was a little bit different. Sziky had actually just made a bunch of drones and was getting a little bit too greedy, but now eOnzErG is the one who has to play defensive. He's in a little bit of trouble. Can he get a good position here? One of his links is actually being idle. The drone is helping out. It looks like eOnzErG might barely hold. Both players rallying in more Zerglings. Of course, eOnzErG does have the defender's advantage, but it looks like he doesn't have enough lings, and it looks like he might lose his drone as well. Of course, he's morphing more lings. Sziky gonna try and snap them off as they pop out of the eggs, but with the speed on the lings, it's very, very difficult to actually catch them.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very tricky. And so that could work out for eOnzErG, but eOnzErG is absolutely on the ropes right here. Sziky is doing excellent positional play with his lings, just managing to get a little bit of a windfall there. eOnzErG managing to catch a couple, but both these guys are just popping lings like crazy. eOnzErG is having to be incredibly careful with his control after his early blunder, landing him in a very, very rough spot. Indeed, he needs to make sure he doesn't get too ahead of himself. His arc was very, very messed up right there, and Sziky should be able to take an advantage out of this engagement. It looks like eOnzErG might just be able to bring it back and might just be able to defend for now, but nonetheless, he's going to have to keep reducing lings. There really is no room to breathe for these guys. And looking at Museless timing, however, it does look like eOnzErG is going to be slightly ahead in terms of Museless timing, but will he be able to keep his hatcheries and drones alive right now? It remains to be seen. He's going to have one Museless, not going to be anything like enough to save his Spire, which is probably going to go down. He's going to start losing drones as well. Sziky is all over this. eOnzErG is in a huge amount of trouble, and I don't even know what he's going to be able to do about it. If he has to try and drill to save his Spire, doing a nice job of drilling right there, and he might actually be able to keep that Spire alive, losing a lot of drones, though. He's lost 3 drones so far in this engagement, finally popping out some more. He's going to lose another drone, maybe? No, just keeping it alive, and he may just, oh no, the drone doesn't. He may just have done enough to keep himself alive and kicking for a little bit longer, but I severely doubt it. His drone count is in pieces, although, however, Sziky not looking too hot on the drone count either, but there we see the full story. 15 supply for eOnzErG versus 22 for Sziky.
Yeah, definitely looking good, and it's now going to come down to, oh no, his Muta Micro! He's not paying attention. The Muta was completely idle on his lair, losing one of his 2 Mutas here. That was the only thing he had going for him. His only advantage in this game was 2 Mutas to Ziky's none, but that's about to go down to 0. Still not watching at all. I don't know what he's looking at right now. Is he just like micro? Oh, it looks like he's microing the links in his main base. Sorry, I missed that. I was too busy. I was focused on the Scourge there, but doesn't look like he's been able to do too much here. Oh man. Oh. It's like something is going down with Elegant. Everybody take a sip. Everybody take a sip.
I think I'm back.
Yep, you are indeed.
Yeah, sorry about that. Everyone take a drink. Oh, that happened before, by the way, as well. You just didn't notice it. So take 2. Still having a little bit of a micro war going on right here, and it looks like eOnzErG is going to keep going for Ziky's natural. And at this point, he pretty much has to start producing Scourge. There's no way he can compete in the Museless count. He might be able to land some decent Scourge right here, though. Sziky not quite paying attention. eOnzErG microing that slightly, but Ziky's anti-Scourge micro is usually exemplary, doing a nice job there, managing to evade most of the Scourge, though. eOnzErG, GG's out, realizing he has no chance. And Sziky goes 1-0 up in this matchup.
GG! Man. Crazy game, but yeah, I think Sziky definitely had the advantage from the opening there. Going for 12 hatch versus 12 pool, and then eOnzErG going for that really questionable Zergling attack, and I think after that it was basically just no real chance for eOnzErG to catch up. Yeah,
that Zergling attack, I don't quite know what eOnzErG thought was going to happen. He got himself trapped in that situation. There was no way his concave was going to be able to work, and his Zerglings were just going to be stuck in a disadvantageous position, guaranteed. I don't know, was he trying to run round or something? I don't quite get it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what kind of situation that would work, because from what I can tell, like, you know, going for that attack, you're relying on yourself having speed and more Zerglings when your opponent doesn't. But I'm pretty sure at that point he knew Sziky went for the 12 hatch. And Sziky, I'm pretty sure, went for the lair before speed as well, so his speed was as slow as it could be, and yet he was still in time to defend. So I'm struggling to think of a situation where that like works out ideally. I'm not sure when exactly maybe he was just, again, hoping that Sziky had, you know, made a couple of extra drones and wasn't quite prepared.
Probably. But that I don't know. I think Sziky's going to be a step above that today. I can't help but feel that.
Well, we'll find out. We're going to bring you guys game number 2 after the break.
Will indeed.